Hello and welcome to this little video for the PlayStation TV. Now this is coming out next week in the UK and the EU, and it's going to be priced at $84.99. It comes in quite a small box actually, and like on the side you can see there's a clear focus on the remote play functionality. You do also get obviously, you have support for PlayStation Vita games, some of them anyway. We'll talk about that in a bit. And included in this box you have Worms Revolution, Extreme, Velocity Ultra and Ollie Ollie to let you sample this. So let's crack open the box and see what you get inside. So first off you have the voucher code for those games, then that is the box itself. Pull it open. That I assume is the Vita TV, unless it is just a handy card holder for me. And a few cables. Alright, so with everything torn out of its box, what should we start with first? The bits of paper. So you've got guarantee, a quick start guide, that would be useful for getting up and running. That page looks quite interesting. You can have on-screen touch pointers when playing a PS Vita game. So you can sort of have a little substitute for not having the two touch screens. Although not having the two touchscreens does in fact impact upon what games you can play. And again, we'll get onto more of that later. Safety guide, try not to swallow the console. And a little sheet of paper telling you to use a wired connection as opposed to a wireless connection. Again, we'll get into that a bit later. Just a standard power cable. Sorry, that was ridiculously crinkly packaging. That is your power adapter. You have like a circle end to it as opposed to micro USB, which we are more accustomed to these days. And finally, a nice HDMI cable. Now onto the console itself. And as you can see, it's actually quite a small little thing. Let me just grab the PS Vita. This is a PS Vita Slim, so that's, I mean, it's the same rough size as a PlayStation Vita, the original version, but this kind is kind of a little bit thinner. And yet, the PlayStation TV is ever so slightly thinner once more, I think. Yep, by about 0.5 millimeter or 1 millimeter or something like that. So then, as you can see, there's nice shiny plastic on the front, and that is my lovely light up there. On the back, then we have there's a power button. That is for your memory card. This is a USB port for charging a controller, HDMI, and then Ethernet, and finally a power cable on the right-hand side. Then over this side, this is where you can put in game cartridges for your PS Vita games. In fact, let's do that now. So stick that into there. And the other nice thing that you can do actually is, if you already have a PS Vita, and this does, like the PS Vita Slim, this does have 1 GB of built-in storage for like the occasional save file, or for like some of the smaller games, but you can obviously expand it with the standard memory cards for the PS Vita. And if you go in, clicks in like that. Yes, so you can take your, as long as you're signed into the same PSN account, you can take your PS Vita memory card straight out of your Vita and stick it into your PlayStation TV. And that's it. Plug your stuff in and you are away, pretty much. Right, now for me to actually plug it in and explore the software and what this little console can do. Okay, so as you can see, this is the PlayStation TV interface, and it is quite literally blowing up the PlayStation Vita's interface to the size of a TV. Yeah, you've got everything here. These are all of my games. Unfortunately, plugging in my memory card, the PS TV and the PS Vita as well, each time you plug in a new card, it has to rebuild a database. And this means that it rips everything out of any form of folders or any semblance of organisation that you have, which is quite disappointing. Now, in terms of games which you can play on here, I'm going to show you a spot of Killzone. I've already loaded it up, and like it is pretty much what it is. This is you can quite clearly see that this is 960 by 544, which has been upscaled to 720p, and also, oh, I understand. Okay, I ran out of bounds. It's also then been upscaled further to 1080p for me, although this video will be in 720p itself. But I mean, the game runs quite well. It looks fairly good, especially considering that it's just for a handheld. I mean, it already looked rather good on the PlayStation Vita itself, so it looks pretty damn fine on the TV. You can obviously tell that it's not a PS3 game, even let alone something more fully featured. Oh, hello. I'll free you, rescue you. Nice, hostage rescue. Okay. Now, what we do have is we have a bunch of games. Oh, no, that's just adding support for DLC, so I will cancel that. Yeah, a lot of games won't work, and the PSTV does not filter out what will and won't work. This is up to you to figure it out. So I've plugged in this memory card. It's got a little big planet on it. Firstly, yes, I will close Killzone Mercenary, and then with games which won't work, with apps such as YouTube, which don't support PlayStation TV, you will get this particular message. And yeah, I think you're gonna have to use common sense as to what will and won't work on the PSTV. Let's see what this. There we go. Software stability has been improved, but I can't be bothered to update you. And so there we have it. That's on the PlayStation Vita side of the gaming spectrum. Now, obviously, remote play is kind of the main hook for the PlayStation TV, and the idea is that if the main TV in your house is being used, then you want to have the PlayStation TV so that someone can go and use a secondary TV in like a bedroom in order to hook up to the PlayStation 4. Now, what's happened here is it's actually connected over Wi-Fi to the PlayStation 4. They are in very close proximity, so like this is a direct connection between the two. Theoretically, this could actually be the best possible connection, and we are going to, like, wow, I don't know. What do you want to see? Let's play a bit of Destiny, I guess. I will just load this up. You might be able to hear the PlayStation 4 in the background because it does get a little bit noisy when it's reading a disc. Yeah, so what I found so far is that latency is roughly, let's say it's double sometimes. With Advanced Warfare and Battlefield 4, I've counted frames between pressing down a button and seeing action on screen, and in both cases it's roughly double. Now, these are both games that run at 60 frames per second, so that's already kind of the best case scenario on the PlayStation 4 in terms of latency. And to double that latency, it means that if you're thinking about playing online, then maybe you should wait until you can actually get onto the PlayStation 4 before you do that. When it's something which is running at 30 frames per second, where it's cooperative more than competitive, then maybe, you know, the PlayStation TV is going to do quite a good job there, as long as you've got like the bandwidth, the network infrastructure to support it. So this is kind of what it looks like. Let's head to Earth, I guess. Now, talking about the latency again, the input latency, I can kind of feel it as just then in the menus and as I'm playing, and it does kind of muddy the experience. Now, if you have a PlayStation Vita, you can test this for yourself. You can fiddle with settings on the PS4. You can set it from high quality video, which this is set at, to like lower quality, and have a little fiddle around and see what it's like, really, before you buy a PlayStation TV. If you don't, then you have to go in with your expectations tempered a little bit. This is only going to be running at 720p. It's only going to be at 30 frames per second. And yeah, it's going to have a little bit of lag. It's going to have a little bit of blurriness. There's going to be like motion compression when you are like spinning around very quickly, when there's a lot of action going on screen, especially explosions, which use those particular colours, which struggle with a little bit of compression, like yellows and reds, mainly reds. And yeah, this is the game on PS TV. All right. Oh, one extra little thing: if you are playing with a DualShock 4, you can actually hit the share button, and that is instantly forwarded. So I've got my share button to set to do screenshots as opposed to video, which I find preferable. If you are recording PlayStation TV, PlayStation Vita games, if you're playing PlayStation Vita games, I should say, holding down the PlayStation button and then tapping the option or start button on your controller will get you a screenshot of that. And if you're using a DualShock 3 to play the games, obviously you will struggle to use a touchpad because there isn't one. But if you want to capture a screenshot or something, then tapping the option button will actually act as a share button quite amusingly, which I quite like how that works. So yeah, I mean, these games are eminently playable, especially when it comes to single player, but you're going to struggle if you are trying to do ultra competitive stuff online. And with that, I'm going to, well, firstly, I'm going to head to Orbit. The touchpad works as well if you're playing a PlayStation 4. Head to Orbit first, then I am going to go back to the live area of the screen. Takes a second or two. And yeah, that is the PlayStation Vita. So I hope I have given you a decent indication of what it's going to be like. There is a little bit of lag when it comes to remote play. It's not as clear a picture. It's very much like it looks very much like the video that you can record and share directly on the PlayStation 4. But aside from that, this is a pretty decent bit of kit. It's just got a few problems and quibbles with what you can do with it, and that's about it. I hope I've helped to inform your decision if you're looking at a PlayStation TV, and we will see you next time.